positives today. You think first Liverpool goal for Solanke, first Liverpool goal for Robertson as well. Clearly, though, your season is not yet over. What's the plan now? Do the players need a little rest, a little bit of recuperation?
Yeah, but first of all, our season is over. The Premier League season, the JAMZ season is still going. That's something that we are really looking forward to it now. Because so far it was quite difficult. So it was really difficult with this open question. When it's just not decided. You have Chelsea in your back. That's not cool. And I'm really happy how the boys deal with that. We had so many injuries, key players. And so today, Adam Lallana coming back. What a player he is! Wow. And we played without him pretty much the whole year. So that's all hard. But the boys did fantastic. So I'm happy. And now we used to 2 weeks with different things to do. But first of all, now the next 2 days is, of course, off for the boys, and they can now do whatever they want. And then we come back, and we will this kind of extended recovery, doing tactical things, not highest intensity. Next week, go to another gear, and then we will be ready for the game.
Liverpool versus everybody. Here, my man JAMZ. Thank you for making time, bro. How you feeling? How you tell me how you?
I'm all good. Feeling happy. Got top 4 in the bag. I wanted third though. That crazy result with Tottenham. Yeah, I really wanted third, just for bragging rights, really, and progression. It looks a bit better, but yeah, got top 4. All roads lead to Kiev now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. It seemed like, I think, obviously I wasn't watching the Spurs game, but it seemed like it was a wild game, man. It was like back and forth for a while there, trading goals. But yeah, we didn't get third, and all that did was open up the floodgates of the trolls of Spurs on Twitter, talking about how they finished above us, and it's amazing to see what certain teams celebrate and what other teams don't. But we're in the Champions League, and I think they're not the only team that would love to be where we are right now. So it's kind of nice to be able to rub it in their face a little bit when they come chatting nonsense on social media.
Definitely.
Tell me some of your thoughts, man. Building up, I know there was some rumors going around that Mane was hurt. Clearly, if he was, it wasn't that serious, which was good to see, because I was a little worried, because you saw how we kind of suffered without him. I think in was it Stoke? One of those games, we didn't have him, and you could see how we were kind of missing him. But not missing Milner, or missing Milner was a little bit of a shock to me. I didn't see any of that build up to the game. That was just random for me. I don't know if you had saw that before, but were you happy with the lineup? Did you think maybe Ings should come in instead? Did you think Woodburn should start? Talk to me.
Okay, my first thoughts. Remember, I sent it to you, on WhatsApp. My first thoughts were it's a weird formation. Do you remember last season, towards the end of the season against West Ham, we did almost like a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
It was the same type of weird feeling. It was like, well, what the hell's going on? But I have to say, I was really impressed. I don't know if they had an off day. No, they can't have had an off day, because it could have been 6 or 7. You look at where Mane should have passed to Firmino, that could have been a goal. You look where Mane probably shouldn't have given it to Salah, or Salah should have made more space. That could have been a goal. So Bobby Firmino had 1 or 2 chances. Salah might have had another chance. So we totally controlled the game. It was great performance. I thought it was the right team to. I don't know about the right team. I'm definitely happy Solanke played over Ings. To be honest, I look at Ings and I see a 25, 26-year-old who he looks decent but hasn't really impressed me. And maybe because of the injuries he's had, we should maybe loan him. I don't want to sell him and then he goes to, I don't know, West Ham and he gets 20 goals. That'd be not good. So I'd rather loan him. But with Solanke, he's a raw, pure, talented kid. He came up, as we know, the Chelsea ranks, which is like one of the best academies in English football. He was Golden Boot for the Under-20 World Cup. And did he win Golden Boy as well, or was that Brewster? But won awards. He was the youngest Chelsea player to ever win to ever play in the Champions League. So he's not just come out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? And if Klopp saw him as a 17, 18-year-old or whatever, and liked him a year ago, I'd rather see Solanke play. And you look at the way he took that goal. He powered that into the top of the corner, as if it was pre-season. So yeah, I was really happy with Solanke. I was happy to see Robertson get a goal. That was nice to see. Lovren as well. And I was really impressed with Lallana. He came on and he shows why he is such a different type of midfielder. His two-footed control, the way he is with tight spaces. Yeah, I was really impressed with Lallana too.
Yeah, just on that last point that you ended with, I think Klopp mentioned that at one point in one of a million interviews he did afterwards. He was saying how, it's a credit to this team, losing Lallana and going to this game. If someone would have told him they were going to lose Lallana, he would have and be doing how good we're doing right now.
Yeah.
He'd have thought they were crazy, So that is big, and Lallana does have those flashes, and he does remind you what we possibly could be missing with a fit Lallana.
Yeah.
So I think he and people think I'm crazy, but I think he and Solanke could be X factors in this final. We don't know how things are going to go. Maybe off the bench, I don't know, but I think this is the perfect situation for Solanke to be in. And you mentioned the formation. Kind of that 4-4, what was it, like a 4-4-2 that we did last season with
West Ham away, I think.
Yeah, and they worked then, and then Klopp tweaked it this game over the weekend. That worked as well. Yeah. Listen, Solanke needed it. He needed that. I think a lot of people were doubting him. I can't be mad at the people who were doubting him. He wasn't really doing that well, but I think it's fair to say you can't really judge Solanke unless he gets a run of, let's say, 10 games at least.
Yeah.
He's still young. He's not really been playing like that. So. Yeah, training is one thing, but when you come against competition, it's a whole different thing. And my opinion is you can't really critique him. I mean, you can, of course, but I don't think it's really fair until he gets a good run of games. But he not only the goal, but the assist. He got the assist. He got the goal. Right place at the right time, and I think he could be really good. I honestly, though, if I'm being honest, I don't really see him playing too much in this team. I just don't. And for me, I just feel like maybe a loan out would be good. The only downside to that is let's say he goes to Huddersfield or Brighton and he bags 20, 25 goals. Just saying. Then he's going to think, oh, well, why would I go back to Liverpool to sit on the bench? Then he might go over somewhere else. So it's a tricky one. I don't want to lose him, but I just feel like for him as a young player, you got to be playing. If you're not playing, then, it's just so it's a tricky situation. If we don't grab somebody in the window, which I think we would be crazy to not do, then I think we keep him. I'm not sure what you think about Origi. Speaking of that goal that Dom had reminded me of a goal Origi had, I think like in a game against Southampton in one of the cup games. But no, it was good to see him get it. And I said before the game that go ahead.
It's interesting, you brought Origi up. Well, firstly, to what you said, Solanke. Honestly, I think Solanke needs to go on loan. He definitely. I think if you look next season, we're going for the title. And that's what I think everyone will want to go for it now. If we touch, I don't want to talk too much about winning Europe, but if we do or if we don't, we've got to go for the league. And Solanke for me is just not a good enough number 2. When you look at, Aguero when Jesus, that's a 1 and 2. Even Giroud and Morata 1 and 2. Lacazette, Aubameyang 1 and 2. He does deserve. He should go on loan. And if he does go on loan and do really well, we should then look into bringing him home. Such a young kid, but totally agree, he should be playing. Now, my thing with Origi is I was actually a bit confused why Klopp loaned out Origi or kept Sturridge, Solanke and Ings. That really confused me. I thought Sturridge was the one to go because of his wages being so high and his injury record. He could have gone to West Brom at the beginning. Solanke was an 18-year-old raw talent at the time. He should have gone alone. And Ings, he hadn't kicked a football for more than 5 games in a row for 2 years, so he was going to be your third choice. I really thought Origi was going to be our second choice. And like you said, he was a great. Do you remember his run on the way to the Europa League before his injury?
It was amazing. It was amazing.
And he was 20 then. Was he 21 then? So I'm really surprised that we sent him on loan, and it didn't do him no good. I think he's got something less than 10 goals at Wolfsburg. It ain't done him no good. He's been subbed off. I saw some things. It's not been very good. He's had good patches, but it's not been a successful loan. I think they've got relegated, have they? Or they're close to relegation, Wolfsburg.
And then again, that's what we got to be careful of when you loan players out. Do Wolfsburg even play a similar style as we do? It's like I think I wouldn't know. I don't know if you watch too much Bundesliga, but I think when we're loaning these guys out, we got to be really careful who we're loaning them to, because if they're going to a team that, not saying Wolfsburg does this, but if they're going to a team that parks the bus defensively and offensively, they're just on a kind of a set piece team or long ball team, then how is that really benefiting our players? So I think there's a lot of things that go into why he's not doing well in Germany, but I thought that was a head scratcher as well. You keep Sturridge, who's beyond broke down. Ings, who again I know the whole cute story about him, you know, persevering. All that's all fine and good, but he's not a player that's going to help us. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. And then this new guy who's kind of just an unknown. We didn't really know. I thought he lit it up in preseason. I thought he was really good. I was really excited to see how he would help us, especially being that other option of a tall guy when we play against those teams that kind of sit back, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm kind of torn on Origi. I really just don't know, and not really based off the Wolfsburg thing, but I just wonder where his confidence is, because, you know, he's human. He's got to think, well, Klopp, you know, I'm sure Klopp likes me as a player, a person, but he's bringing in this guy who doesn't really know much about him. I mean, I'm sure he's seen him play, but what does that mean for me? You know, why would he kick me out and then bring in this young guy? So I don't know. I don't know how that's really affected Origi, but obviously we'll see. As I was going to say before the game, I made a joke about Lovren getting a hat trick. Obviously a joke. And at the same time, I was saying I didn't really care who scored. It'd be nice if Salah got one. He did, and I think that was good. So I think that was great. It had to be Salah first, right? Break the ice. So then you'd have to worry about, okay, he had to break this record. He did it. That was good. Then we get everybody else involved. So, you know, to get 4-0 and have Lovren of all people scoring, Andy Robertson, Solanke, 3 guys who we didn't really see doing that or accustomed seeing them score. It's a big thing, man. It's a big thing to see other guys be involved like that. You know, Mane was in and around a lot of things we did well, and of course, there are going to be a lot of people trying to give Mane stick. I don't get that. Yeah, it's people, you know. But this is our supporters, man. Sometimes they just go over the top over the foolishness. But I thought Mane had a really good game. I think he had a really good game, and of course, he missed a couple opportunities. I think he was being a little bit too generous on that moment where he was trying to push in for Salah. That kind of bothered me, because it's like, I know Mane to be a guy where missed opportunities don't really seem to bother him. But Sunday it seemed like it did. Like, he felt bad that he didn't find, was it Firmino on that one situation? And he was like, oh, he's in his head too much. Let me get Salah. But it is what it is. I love how he always has a smile on his face and he just keeps running. But yeah, I mean, I think the Madrid game, I think the front three will have a great game. But what happened against Brighton is going to be key, and meaning that we're going to need everybody to pull their weight, man. For obvious reasons, you know, Real Madrid are a good team. We are as well, and I don't fear them. But what I am saying is that, you know, we're going to need to be at our best. We're going to be at our best, and I think every position, front to back, tactics, things of that nature. So I'm excited for it. And yeah, like I said, it was just good to see guys who we don't really expect to get it. Let me speak about Firmino real quick. Another guy who got a few missed chances, but won't be talked about too bad like Mane was. But I thought he was really important as well, as he's been all season, harrying defenders, trying to open things up for guys. Do you think these guys maybe just kind of collectively maybe just holding back and trying to just like keep everything together for this final, and then that's going to be the time where they all just come out together and they're just all on it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I do. Yeah, I think so. I think, like I've said it before, this is going to be the biggest game. We haven't got a team that is full of experienced, old winners. This is the first Champions League final I think they've all played in, Sturridge in the squad. So I think it's the first time they've all played in a Champions League final. Did Salah play when he was in Chelsea? I don't think he did. So they are going to be, you know, maybe they are saving themselves. I do think, you know, there's a 50-50 challenges. Maybe someone like Bobby was move out the way of a keeper or centre back, whereas maybe he wouldn't before. Maybe, yeah. I do hope that they're all waiting to just come out on next, was 2 weeks, isn't it? All guns blazing. Cannot wait. Oh, cannot wait. Even when I think about it, I just get excited.
Yeah, this is going to seem like a long, I guess it's a week and a few days. Of course it is. Checking out all the build-up. Haven't heard anything yet about Milner. I think he'll probably be okay. But if he isn't, this formation and this team that played against Brighton, would you be worried?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be worried. Just because it was a good performance, but it feels like from the fans' point of view, we've only seen that once or maybe twice this whole year. Or I'd be really nervous and worried if we lose Milner. I'd be nervous if we lose anyone else now.
Yeah.
Anyone from, you know, the whole our standard 11, I'd be devastated if we lost anyone. And Milner being up there with nearly as important as the front three, you know, with his assist and his energy and his experience as well. You know what I mean? We need a guy like Milner who can just put his arm around Robinson, you know what I mean, and Trent. And he's the closest thing we've got to a winner. You know what I mean? He's been there, done that. He's been in many games, big games. He's been in finals. So I hope he's okay. He didn't train at all last week, though, apparently. Read that somewhere. So that's not too good, but...
Yeah, that's one thing I was kind of worried about. He's been playing a lot of games, and I think, you know, listen, Klopp is doing the best he can. It's not really much he can do with the injury situation. I think the time away, who knows? Maybe you get Lana up to speed. And this is all hypotheticals because, of course, we're hoping that Milner can play. But if he can't, we definitely got to think about options. I agree with you with this game against Brighton. Let's be honest. All due respect from Brighton, they stood up in the league, but it is Brighton. It's not Real Madrid. So,
and it's at home.
Yeah. So there's some different factors. Glad you brought that up because that leads me to what I was going to say. It's gone pretty under the radar. I'm not sure why, but we're the only team in all leagues to be undefeated at home. Nobody's talking about that. Yeah. I think that's big. I think that's big to go into every season and at least attempt to do that. Not for records or to brag about it, but it gives you a little space, you know, in these seasons, and to be able to defend home field and have that kind of cauldron, you know, that powerful Anfield atmosphere backing you, and it plays in people's minds whether they believe it or whether they say it or not. You know, going to Anfield knowing that, you know, we're really good there and we haven't lost. It's something I think plays in people's minds. So I think that's good. Genie, someone shouted out Genie in the comment section. I wanted to speak about him because for a long time people would jokingly call him Ghostly Wijnaldum because he was always kind of very gone missing. You didn't really know what he did, like what was his job. He did a lot of passing backwards and sideways, but he didn't really produce much. This is what people were saying. I always thought he was great, but I want you to tell me what you feel about Genie in the last few games, having to step up, Ox being out, which we learned that Ox will be out till Thanksgiving. Yeah. So talk to me about Genie, and did you notice anything good about him in this most recent game, and then in the last few games, how integral he's been to the team?
The game that stands out for me is when he came on for Ox in the City game. I think we said that before. He was phenomenal. Powerful engine, going forward, defending, beating one or two players, starting attacks. But then the game against Chelsea, he wasn't doing anything. You couldn't see him. He was out of the game 15, 20 minutes. You know, I don't know why that was. Then he was great. I thought he stood out. I think Roma at home, he stood out. Was it Roma at home? I think so, yeah. I think he's getting better and better. He's getting better and better, and he's starting to find. You know, he's starting to find some routine. I think the midfield three was chopped and changed so much throughout the season when everyone was fit. You know, Wijnaldum didn't really maybe play 3-4 games on a trot. Now he is. I'm a fan of him. I want to see if he can take it one gear up now because he seems to have all the attributes in him to be a top player. He's quick to a degree. He's quick for a centre midfielder. He's strong. He's got agility. He's a stamina. You know, he's an engine. He's quite powerful. He doesn't seem to have a long distance finish on him. But at Newcastle, I'm watching him. He got double figures. Their top goal scorer, and he even got a hat trick off him. I remember watching once. The one season he was there. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he can score in the box too. It just seems like it reminds me maybe not the same level, but like of Luis Garcia in some ways. Luis Garcia was phenomenal in some days and then poor. Like I said, probably not the same level, but that's what
that's a good comparison though. That's a really good comparison.
Yeah, so that's what Widgie sometimes reminds me of. And the final could be his day where he, you know, steps down and scores a bullet from 25 yards out. You never know, but yeah. That's what I think. I think he's doing okay. When we have, what's going to be interesting is when Keita comes in. Widgie's going to be the if say Chan goes, Widgie might be the main one who's going to maybe suffer from Keita coming in. With Keita being a box-to-box complete midfielder. You know what I mean? You know, Ox might lose his place to maybe an attacking midfielder if we get one. And then CDM would be maybe Hendo, Jorginho. If we got someone, I don't know. I like Hendo, but I think Widgie would be the one that would probably looking over at Keita, thinking, okay, you know, Keita's coming in and he's got many attributes that I've got. Keita's probably from what I've seen, he's probably better than him.
Yeah. That's a good point. You never really know what's going to happen with Genie. And again, what's going on with Ox makes it even more of a headache. I think the window this season, I think, is a little shorter.
Yeah.
So we'll be having to get our business. I think it's in 4 days. I think it opens up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it.
And I'm not sure that we'll do too much, just because the champions. I mean, too soon. We'll probably wait till the Champions League is over. Although I feel like, honestly, I mean, look, this is a big club. There's got to be somebody who can be doing these off the field things, even while Liverpool is. So hopefully that's not the excuse. So we'll see. Some really good questions in here in the comment section. Let me just get to a couple of them. Mame says, don't you think resting 2 weeks before the final can kill the momentum?
I do, I do. That's a good question. I do think so. Sometimes I think you lose the momentum, don't you? You lose the kind of, having so much time off. It can happen, I guess. But I'd rather 2 weeks off than 5 days off. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The players can have a few days off. I mean, they should be back now, maybe, and then light training, a bit of intense light, and then maybe have the Saturday off. Watch Man United hopefully lose, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, I
thought that was a good question too. Obviously, I want to try to stay up. I mean, it's a great question. It's something that you definitely think about, but just trying to be on the optimistic side. Obviously, I think we're all hoping that doesn't happen. They'll be able to go away, get some bonding in or whatever. Much needed rest. Is it too much? I mean, I guess it could be again, and hopefully, it just doesn't work out that way for us. Hopefully, it's just the much needed break that we need, and then we can jump back into it.
Definitely.
Somebody said some games Genie is world class, and I think with Genie it's just really about consistency. That's really, and I think a lot of things you said about him, I think it was really it was a great thing that he played the way he did and where he did for Newcastle, because you saw the speed he had there, you saw how good a scoring threat he could be. But I think it's true, he never really, I mean, I don't remember all their games, but I don't think he ever was really a proven distance shooter. And you can see even now sometimes when he shoots it, you think maybe he's forgotten how to put enough weight on the balls, because they're all really weak. I think these long distance shots he takes, they're very, very soft shots. It's really strange to me. Like sometimes I don't know if he's trying to pass the ball or shoot it, but I think Genie just needs to up his confidence. But I gotta say, since Ox has went down, Genie's really, really stepped up. So that's definitely good to see. I want to jump into Real Madrid briefly, and one of the things I want to say is that they wouldn't have faced a team that's going to be in their face, punch them in their mouth, pulling their hair, being really, really in their face as far as a pressing style of team. I mean, to my knowledge, even when they play in the Clasico, that's just two really good teams, trying to outdo each other. But Barcelona's not really, really pressing them like that. They're not really in their face like that. So, I think that's going to be one thing that if we can get out and do that early, I really think we can jump out early on them and get goals really quick. It's really about how we maintain and manage the game, how Klopp manages the game throughout. But I don't really have any worries kind of in that opening 20 to 30 minutes. I really think we'll get out on them.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on kind of like the best ways to attack Real Madrid?
Even I think about it, I get nervous. I think we should just I think we should just go out there and attack them, show them no respect. Go out there and just attack. I want us to just I don't want us to. This is just me personally. I don't want Liverpool to slowly get into the game and pass it around. I'd love us to kick off the ball from the halfway line and boom, gone. Do you know what I mean? Pass it to the midfield. Let's Salah and Mane run all the way, and then long ball, whatever. Just start the game off so attacking. Let them know that we have scored the most goals in the Champions League. Let them know we've put 5 goals past every opponent that we've played on route to the final. You know what I mean? Let them know who we are. Show them no respect. And we've seen them concede goals upon goals, which you haven't really, except for the Roma game, we didn't do much, in the Champions League. So, that's the way I'd like to play. Don't show them no respect. Don't let them play the way they want to play, because they can do the exact same to us. My worst fear is we start a bit shaky. So they attack Lovren and Trent, and by the 15th minute, we're 2-0 down. That's my worst fear. So I'd like to just go at them from the get-go. Go at them, and blow them away, make them realise. Because I think they're underestimating us. I don't like how they had their t-shirts, you know, when they beat. I feel like a lot of their fans probably thought that was the final. You know, having by the final. Little Liverpool, who were Liverpool, they're not the old days. Liverpool, you know, one-man team, Liverpool, whatever they're thinking. So, yeah, I want them to eat humble pie, and I wouldn't be. For me, it can either go two ways. We can either start off poor and lose, or we can demolish them. You know, 5-1 or something crazy. We've done it to City. You know what I mean? We've done it. Like I said, we've done it all the way to the final.
Yeah, Carl just said a first leg of Man City match should be an indicator of how we should face Real Madrid, and I agree with that. I mean, I think we were amazing. A lot of people are agreeing with that too. Yeah, I thought we were amazing, and that's really the way I think we have to attack City. And I think, honestly, as confident as I am in this team, I think 90 minutes is where we got to do it. You know, go on extra time, kick, because they have a deep bench. You know, and we all know that our team is real thin right now. So, not to say we can't do it if it got there, because this is Liverpool. We thrive pretty damn good when our backs are against the wall, when it counts, especially in Champions League. So, not to say we can't do it, but you might as well do it the best way you know how, and live by and die by the way we play. Might as well. I don't want to see any of this holding. I think we should play the way we know best, and that is strictly just attacking them. I don't want to see any kind of cute, you know, creases that Klopp wants to put out. No, play your football. That's what you do. Do it. You know what I mean? And hopefully Real Madrid's reaction will be one of them not knowing what hit them. You know what I mean? That would be the plan. In closing, man, I just want to bring up our fullbacks. I feel like we've been talking about them all year, which I think is rightfully so. They both deserved it. Yeah, have deserved it all season. I'm just so impressed every single game, man. And sure, here or there, it feels very few, especially for Robertson, to be honest. But here or there, they might have an off game. But for their age and where they've come from, especially Robertson, all through the Scottish division and then going to Hull City, and just not being a guy that anyone really thought about. 8 million, and you could say arguably he's the best left back in the league. Yeah, man. It's just it's insane what these guys are doing, man. The passing, even Van Dijk had a nice pass from distance. Which was ridiculous. But even Trent with his speed to catch up to some of these balls. Some of those balls, as good as they were, they looked as though they would go out of bounds, and then Trent would just out of nowhere off the screen come and get the ball. So you can't say enough about them. And I think they've been a big part of what we're doing. And really, Trent was the guy who got this started. Remember that first playoff game against Hoffenheim? Yeah. Was it Hoffenheim? Hoffenheim, right? Yeah. You know, scoring that goal. And not many people thought we'd look back and bring that up, but he kind of got this started. I think that's, if you think about it that way, I mean, that just really shows you how our season has gone. And through everything we've gone through, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I want to win this. I want us to win it. I think Klopp needs it probably for his history of finals. This fan base, he does, man. Yeah, he's been striking out a bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, go ahead.
I think not pressure from the fans. I don't think from me and 85% of us, if we lost, we're happy with the direction Klopp's taken us. But I do believe he's going to feel pressure on his managerial name and his managerial kind of ego, that if he loses would this be the sixth final in a row?
Is it the sixth?
I think it would be, you know. It'd be his third Liverpool final, and I believe he lost 3 on the trot for Dortmund, but definitely lost two Champions League. So for him, I think, you know, because for Liverpool, this is amazing accomplishment. You know, no one expected this anyway. But for him personally, he's not going to want to, you know, feel like, you know, the bottler, or when you compare him to maybe Mourinho and Pep's finals. So for him, I think there is going to be some pressure on him, as much as we don't put the pressure on him himself. And, you know, because we see himself as an elite manager. Surely he is an elite manager. And the only thing that people might say against him, you can play all the beautiful football you want. If you don't win anything, it doesn't mean anything. And that is the argument. You know, I have this argument with Man United fans all the time. And they always say, you know, we don't care that Liverpool score 80, 90 goals. You play free flowing. You haven't won a trophy since 2012. And we won 2 last season. And that is something that, you know, is starting to get on Liverpool's nerves. And it's definitely going to get on Klopp too. So I think there is a bit of pressure on him. Like I said, particularly from ourselves, but from the wider football world and the football gods, maybe.
Yeah, and as much as I hate that arguing point with United fans, I had to say they were right. You know what I mean? And you can say all you want about the boring parking the bus football that Jose plays. He's constantly getting trophies, and they're second in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I don't really get there. I don't want to make this about United, but that's why I don't really get their fans being so upset about things. I mean, I do get it, but I mean, this is a winning manager you guys have, so you got to kind of suck that up. But yeah, it should be special. Mame says experience versus passion. And I think that's important to say because Madrid, this will be their third in the trot, third time Champions League. So they've got that. They've got a lot of individual talented guys. But as corny as it sounds, Liverpool is the passion team. They're a team. You know what I mean? They really depend on each other. Sure, we got Salah, we got Mane, Firmino, but really it's about the team. And hopefully that's what wins out in the end. Mame says, but there should be no pressure. We overachieved with what we have. Just go and give everything. Another good point. And I think that's kind of the thing. I mean, I hesitate to say things like we have nothing to lose because I think we do have something to lose. But I get people who say things like that because, Real Madrid is supposed to win this. For most people who are, on the outside looking in, neutrals or whatever, they have Madrid winning this. And if not because they've been here the third time now, simply because their name. I think they've got the most Champions Leagues, right? Yeah. So on paper, they're supposed to beat us. So again, we've been shocking people and shutting people down, shutting people up all season, preferably or specifically in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So may that continue. And I look forward to that game the end of this month. Any news or updates on the chances of you getting out there?
Yeah, I got my email and it's quite annoying, to be honest. I'm a bit
anxious.
Pissed off Liverpool, but so I got an email and I am like 1,187th in the queue.
Oh wow!
Yeah, wow. Which means really, really and truly, it means I'm not going to go because I'm not going to risk waiting. And I'll find out tomorrow if it's improved. There's not much you can do, but it's a bit annoying when you go to 6 home games that the whole Champions League, every game at home I've been to, and then it comes to the final and you can't get a ticket. And part of that is the shareholders and the multi-millionaires. They were given so many tickets, so we're left for them. But what can you do in it? What can you do? So
yeah, well, knock on wood, you get it. And if not, I mean, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Clearly, you're gonna watch the game. It'd be nice to be there, but
yeah.
It'll be enjoyable one way or the other. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. We'll get into a little more in depth as the day comes closer. Checking out both team news and see who's not playing, who is, whatever. And hopefully I can't lie, man. As much as I'm focused on the Champions League, I kind of feel like I need something transfer-wise to kind of just keep me, you know what I mean? Because this is going to be a crazy, crazy week and a few days or whatever it is, 2 weeks between now and then. So hopefully we'll get some news about transfers in the next 4 days. But yeah, Liverpool versus everybody. Thank you so much, James, for being on, man. Always appreciate you making time. And we will be back on soon.
Great. Take care, bro.